Hello everybody, my name is Star Wars Boy, how are you? And welcome back to the channel for a brand new Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. In this video, we continue the reinforcement guide series with a reinforcement guide on everyone's favorite roly boys, the Droideka. Before I start the video, I just want to let you guys know that only a small percentage of viewers are actually subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to subscribe. It's completely free and helps out the channel. Anyways, let's get started. Taking a look at their base stats, they have a base health of 350, which is on par with most other reinforcements in the game. Their battle point cost is 1000, which is ridiculously low for the punch they pack. Their weapon is a really unique one, which is their twin blaster cannons, which are mounted onto their body. The damage per hit is 42.5 with a +5 damage with the explosive shot, meaning that every shot you take will have an additional 5 damage. The DPS is 225-250 and the range is 10 to 30 meters, putting it at a shorter ranged weapon. The overheat is 34 shots. Now moving on to their abilities, their L1 ability, which is honestly pretty simple, is called Wheel Form and has a 3-second cooldown. The Droideka transitions into a wheel form and greatly increase movement speed. The duration of this ability is infinite until you decide to turn it off. As for the pros, it is the best method of travel with these guys and is much faster than just walking around. It also grants 50% damage reduction while in wheel form. As for the cons, however, you cannot actually use weapons while in wheel form and your shield cannot be active. So while you do get that 50% damage reduction, you don't really have any real defense. This is just sort of to get around the map really quickly. Their R1 ability is called Energy Shield and has a 7-second cooldown. The Droideka deploys a spherical barrier that provides protection from incoming blaster fire. The duration is infinite until you decide to turn it off or go in wheel form. As for the pros, it does have 600 health, which is really good for a shield, and also allows for weapon use. So while you have the shield, you can use your primary weapon and your overload ability. However, as for the cons, it's not very effective against saber users at all. They can still do full damage to you, and most commonly they will hit you in the back, dealing double damage. So although it does provide protection against blaster characters, just know that you are nothing against saber heroes. Their final middle ability, which I talked about before, is their overload ability, which also has a 7-second cooldown. It overrides a weapon's factory reset and modifies the primary fire mode and super cools the barrel to prevent heat buildup. The duration of this ability is 9 seconds. As for the pros, it does prevent overheat, which is honestly really good with the Droideka, as not only will they fire much faster, but they will also fire faster with no overheat. A con that I listed is that it limits mobility. However, honestly with the Droideka, that's not really an issue because they already go super slow while walking. Again, you can't use this ability in wheel form, so you're going to be going slow anyway, so that con doesn't really matter. It's just there to show you that obviously you can't roll around while using this ability. Moving on to their star cards, and the first card I'm going to recommend is the Acquisition card. Enemies dealing damage to you will be temporarily marked for an easier retaliation from 11 seconds to 22 seconds with a maxed out star card. This card is a must-have for the Droideka as they are a pretty massive target, especially when they have their shield off. And so knowing where enemies are is going to just be really easy in getting that damage in. Again, they don't have that good range. However, if you do know where an enemy generally is and their exact location, you can know either where to attack them or where to retreat, so you won't get attacked from there. The next card I'm going to recommend is called Battle Hardened. The Droideka's maximum health is increased from 5% to 20% with a maxed out star card. This card is a must-have as the Droideka is extremely vulnerable when their shield is off and even in wheel form. So it's really good to have that extra health as it will help you a lot in your gameplay. Now, the final card I'm going to recommend for the Droideka is the Enforcer Training card. You gain a small amount of health for each defeated enemy, from 13 health to 50 health with a maxed out star card. This card is ridiculously simple. The Droideka's health and vulnerability is probably its biggest weakness, and gaining health for each kill you get is really going to help you, as you're going to be taking a lot of damage when that shield is off, and even when it's on, as it can be disabled fairly quickly with the right amount of firepower. So it's important that you do get rewarded for each kill that you get. Now, since the Droidekas are pretty hard to use and not many people know how to actually use them, I'm going to be skipping the Star Wars facts and I'm going to be going over just a main tip that everyone forgets and no one really knows how to use them. So the main tip that I have to address is how to go to enemies. Now, this is not the Phantom Menace. You can't just roll in front of an enemy and deploy your shield and start firing, because the deploy time from the real animation is actually pretty long. So you are going to be completely defenseless, because as you're emerging from real form, you can easily be shot and you can't move and you can't shoot. So you can easily take a massive amount of damage. Whenever I see Droidekas rolling up to the battlefield, I always see half of them just deploying themselves in front of me, and I can just get easy headshots on them and significantly lower their health or even kill them. The best way to deploy is honestly just to go behind a corner or go behind a wall, and then once you deploy your shield and deploy out of wheel form, you can advance on the enemy, as you need cover while getting out of wheel form. It's probably the worst time to be in the Battlefront, and I think that you need cover, and getting that cover will really help you in staying alive. Now, the Droideka's wheel form can also be used to flank enemies or just get to objectives faster. For instance, I think every Separatist player in the second phase of Capital Supremacy has used the Droideka and just ran to the reactor to blow it up. And that is exactly what you're supposed to do, because that is a really good way of using the Droideka's wheel form. You have to utilize that speed to either flank the enemy and go behind them and deal massive amounts of damage, or go to the objective, and that's something that many people forget how to use. For instance, again, I see a lot of Droideka players just rolling right in front of the enemy and expecting to wipe them out completely. However, that's just not how it works. And you do have to play a bit more strategically when playing as these guys, as again, that transformation from the wheel form will get you killed almost 75% of the time. So that is going to be it for this reinforcement guide, guys. At the time of uploading this video, Battlefront 2 is actually free on the Epic Games Store. So on behalf of the channel, I welcome any new players that just want some tips and tricks to know how to get better. Honestly, I can recommend to you 2 of my favorite videos, How to Level Up and 50 tips and tricks for Battlefront 2. You can also consider binging my entire hero guide playlist, as I have done a hero guide on every single character in the game, and none of them are outdated. I believe the only outdated information in those hero guides is the damage on Darth Vader's saber throw, which was only reduced by 25 damage. So if you just want to know how to get better at the game and you have nothing else better to do this quarantine, I just recommend go checking out my hero guides and my other playlists like kill streaks and stuff, and you can see what you like and how to get better at the game, because that's exactly what it's meant for. So thanks for watching, see you guys next time, bye, and may the force be with you always.